And the race for the 2028 US presidential election is already heating up. Potential 2028 candidates from the Democratic Party met at a New York convention to try and win over the party's voters. The National Action Network Convention is an annual gathering of black civil leaders, activists and voters in New York. Democrats addressed the event with a focus on the upcoming 2026 midterms. But potential 2028 presidential candidates, they also used the event to pitch their vision and build support within one of the party's most influential constituencies. Following the 2024 election loss, former Vice President Kamala Harris used the convention to signal that she may mount another bid for the White House. Hinting at a 2028 run, Harris spoke about protecting voting rights and used the platform to launch a broad critique of Donald Trump's leadership. Now, according to Fox News, the 6 names to watch as the next presidential primary begins to take shape are former Vice President Kamala Harris, Governors Wes Moore, Josh Shapiro and J.B. Pritzker, and Representative Ro Khanna and Pete Buttigieg.
Listen, I might. I'm thinking about it. But let me say this. I am thinking about it. But let me also say this. Look, I served for 4 years being a heartbeat away from the presidency of the United States. I spent countless hours in my West Wing office, footsteps away from the Oval Office. I spent countless hours in the Oval Office in the Situation Room. I know what the job is, and I know what it requires.
Now, Pete Buttigieg will run for the 2020 Democratic presidential nomination before joining Biden's cabinet during the latter's presidency. He hinted at another run in 2028. While speaking at the All Sharpton's convention, he addressed a question about the next race for the White House. Listen to this.
When you ran for president, you met me and we went up, well-publicized, lunch at Sylvia's restaurant in Harlem. Just so my calendar is clear, should I be reserving a table at Sylvia's? Are you going to run again?
Now, Governors Josh Shapiro, Pennsylvania, and Gretchen Whitmer, Michigan, they leaned heavily into their records of getting things done in swing states. They positioned themselves as pragmatic alternatives so can win back the working-class voters lost in the previous cycle. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries received some of the loudest applause. Hakeem Jeffries focused his remarks on economic justice and opposing the Republican-led government shutdown. Democrat Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker said that he will be more involved than ever in the 2028 presidential elections. He reiterated that he is running for re-election as Illinois governor. Pritzker also warned that US President Donald Trump is going to try to scare people away from going to the polls in the midterm elections.
And I don't care if Donald Trump, he's going to try to call out ICE and CBP and scare people away from the polls, everybody. He's going to make it seem like you shouldn't vote. We need to go with purpose and push them out of the way, or at least tell them to get out of the way, and go in and vote. And all of us as governors need to protect your right to vote.
Now, as for Republicans, Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio are the front-runners for the 2028 Republican presidential nominations. And this has created a major power struggle within the Trump administration.